Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is about death in Vegas, which raises questions about police restraint move. Vegas police used a neck hold amid national debate on the maneuver. So, family, a neck hold that police used on an unarmed man at a Las Vegas strip casino over the weekend was used an average of about once a week last year amid a national debate about the technique that is banned in many cities. Police call it a, quote, lateral vascular neck restraint, unquote, that involves an arm around the neck to subdue suspects. Critics call it a difficult to perform physical maneuver that should not be used. Quote, officers either hold for too long or it becomes a chokehold that can result in death, unquote, said Cal Potter, an attorney who represented a family that settled a lawsuit for more than $1 million after Charles Bush, 39, died in 1991 at the hands of a Las Vegas police officer using the hold that was not sanctioned at the time. I want to stop right there because I want to bring up a point. I've done another video of about our beloved brother who we've lost by the name of Johnny Cochran. He is the famous attorney who represented O.J. Simpson in his trial. But nonetheless, I read his book. I shared it with you guys on my channel. And one thing that I wanted to repeat here is that Johnny Cochran is one of the pioneers who, lawyers who brought this cartoid chokehold to national attention. He is one who advocated against the use of that hold. It was because of Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran was a very well educated black man. I just want to give him kudos and give him much due respect and recognition for that point. Anyways, it's sad that he's not here today because I know that he too would be fighting very hard against these type of holds by these race soldiers who we refer to as police officers. They act like they're God with a badge, and that's the problem. It's really a bad situation here in America with these type of so-called human beings that we have to encounter, especially as black people. You know that we're very strong people when we have people who fear us just based on our skin color and our complexion. It's petty, but it just goes to show the power that we have. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to get back to the story. It says New York City banned the practice in 1993, years before the death of Eric Garner, a black man whose final words, quote, "I can't breathe," unquote, became part of the national debate over police brutality. Garner died in Staten Island. Police in the two next largest southern Nevada cities outside Las Vegas also banned the practice. Quote, the use of the cartoid restraint can cause the unintentional death of a person on whom it is applied, unquote, says the Henderson police policy that classifies the restraint as deadly force. Well, I have to say that if we're sane human beings and intelligent, and if white people proclaim to have high IQs, then they should know in the court of law from this point forward, and they should already know this, that this type of practice is unconstitutional. It should be against the law and it should be banned. This is just an easy way to kill black men like this man pictured here. This is their easy justification to kill more black people. And for you white people, if you're for this, then stay silent. Stay silent. Keep doing what you're doing because you're just helping them right along. Thanks. But I digress. It says, quote, a Las Vegas police use of force report says the maneuver was used by its officers, get this, 632 times over a 10-year span, dropping from 88 times in 2007 to 45 times in 2015 and 51 last year. So during the time when Johnny Cochran was alive and well, it dropped all the way down to 45 times. What do you know? And then after his death in 2015, it looks like what? It starts to increase again. What do you know? So the agency is drawing criticism after 40-year-old Tashi Sebastian Brown led two uniformed officers on a chase through the Venetian resort to the driveway area where he shook off the effects of a stun gun and punches. Well, you see how they were handling already? Stun gun and punches were used on him as if he was an animal. Police say Brown couldn't be revived after an officer grabbed him in the neck hold. Brown was pronounced dead at a hospital a short time after the 1 a.m. Sunday confrontation. Clark County Coroner John Fudenberg said Tuesday that a ruling on what killed Brown is pending. Well, see, something so obvious. Well, they have to go behind closed doors and figure out how they're going to finagle the wording on how they're going to make it sound less than what it is. But I digress. Quote, they like to say it's not a chokehold, but the technique is a fancy name for a chokehold. See what I said? Said Brent Bryson, another Las Vegas lawyer who handles in custody wrongful death cases and has questioned police officers under oath about use of force. Well, you see, this lawyer is, I guess I was right on this lawyer's same page. Exactly. Quote, it should not be used, unquote, Bryson said. Quote, because it can result in death quickly if it's used incorrectly. Well, this is where they become God with the badge, right? It's up to them on how hard they press. And you call that humane behavior? And this from our peace officers? Huh. It says Brown also used the name Tashi Sebastian Farmer and Tashi Farmer Brown. He grew up in Hawaii, where records show he was released from prison in January 2016 after serving about 5 years for assaulting his girlfriend. Well, see, black men get sent to prison for 5 years for assaulting their girlfriends. White men, well, they get a slap on the wrist and they're out of jail in 10 days. He pleaded guilty in February in Las Vegas to misdemeanor driving under the influence. I wonder what did they give him? 10 years for that? Brown was the father of 2 children in Hawaii and lived with his mother in Las Vegas, where he had a business selling shoes, hats, and clothing, said Tynesa Braun, a cousin in Honolulu. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nevada is heading calls for the carotid artery restraint to be banned in Las Vegas. And see, that's the same one I was telling you about that Johnny Cochran was an advocate against. Johnny Cochran. They remember that name, and they know what I'm talking about. Who are they? Well, of course, these peace officers. Who else? Officer Jacinto Rivera, a department spokesman, declined to say how many of the 632 people placed in the neck hold in Las Vegas died or suffered lasting injuries over the 10-year span. You see, this officer declined to even say how many of the people died or suffered. from lasting injuries. The officer couldn't even be honest about it and say what the truth was because it was so inhumane that he couldn't bring his senses or his lips to speak the truth. So, police have not commented about Brown's death beyond a written statement on Sunday. News briefing is expected Wednesday afternoon. Statement on Sunday, period. A news briefing is expected Wednesday afternoon. The officers involved have not been identified, and it wasn't clear if they remained on duty while the department investigates. Well, of course, they were probably on leave with pay. You know how they do it. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson said there will be a public use of force review to air the findings of the investigation of Brown's death. And that's the extent of that story. But let me just say this. White people, black people have been going through this far too long. We've been going through this same routine far too long, and you've been saying the same old lies. Your media spreads the same old half-truths, and you guys never want to face the reality that there's a segment of bad police officers who are out there killing black people. You just don't want to face the facts or the truth. And so instead, you have trolls and you have white racists who come to our channels and they try to make it bad for us who are trying to speak the truth. So what it is we're finding out that you people are just really scared and afraid of the truth. The truth bites you in the ass. That's what it seems. The truth bites you in the face. Now I get it.